A tall perennial plant that has a multitude of uses is the common tansy. And although you wouldn't want to plant this probably in a showy perennial border, it deserves a place in maybe a cut flower garden or the back of an herb garden. The plants do have just a multitude of uses. The stems last for quite a while in cut flower arrangements, and also if you cut these and dried them, the little yellow button flowers here at the top will maintain their color and their shape for quite a while. So you could dry these and then use them later on in herbal wreaths and other winter arrangements. The tops and leaves of the plant can be used in herbal blends to repel moths. You can also hang the leaves in maybe an open porch or some room of your house to keep flies away if that's a problem. Also, you can take the dried leaves, sprinkle those around the perimeter of your home, and that will help keep away ants and mice. You can plant the common tansy in your garden, and they will help repel aphids and squash bugs. But you can see there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to plant these plants. This time of the year or the late summer, these tall canes can be cut away. Just cut back the plants and you'll get what we have here, kind of a new flush of growth and flowering whenever the temperature starts to cool off a little bit. Fall is also the time of the year when you can dig up the clumps, divide these, and share them with your friends and neighbors. Well, I hope you remember to take a look and maybe plant some common tansy in your garden for all of its multiple uses. We're lucky to have this nice guardian spider here protecting our vegetable plants. She's doing a really good job of eating all the grasshoppers and some of those other harmful insects in our garden. So we're really glad we've got that spider here. Well, now that the temperatures have cooled off, the plants in our vegetable garden have started producing again. We've been harvesting more of these nice peppers, a few eggplant, some of the okra, and also a few tomatoes. Well, it's not too late to still plant a few crops to be harvested yet this year. You can still plant radishes and mustard greens. And that's what I'm going to do here in this raised bed. I've got these nice cherry bell radishes that I'm going to sow, and I'm just going to make a few furrows about 3/4 of an inch deep. Radishes are so easy to grow, and you can still plant them as late as it is because they love the cool temperatures, and also they'll be ready to harvest in as little as 3 weeks. So I'm going to sow these in this row, and what I'm shooting for is about 3 or 4 seeds per inch. Now, a lot of folks don't eat just a whole lot of radishes at one harvest, so it'd be a good idea to sow a few, and we'll come back and sow a few more later for successive crops. Well, I'm just going to take a little bit of loose soil and just lightly cover the furrows. And you can see that this soil is pretty moist. See how it kind of holds together when I squeeze it there. And that's because we watered this a few days earlier to get the moisture high in the bed. And that way we don't have to come back and water these in. The moisture that's already in the soil should be good enough to get these germinated and on their way. I'll just come back and just kind of lightly tamp those to give good seed soil contact so they can absorb that moisture. Now, once these emerge, an important thing to do will be to come back about 2 or 3 days after they come up and start to thin those so they'll have enough room between the plants to fully develop. The greens are a very high nutritious crop, and we're just going to broadcast these in a small area over here next to our radishes. Now, once these come up, after about 3 or 4 weeks, we'll come back and we will thin our mustard greens to where there's about 3 or 4 inches between the plants. And that way they will fully develop. Now the mustard greens are edible at any usable stage. When they're very, very young, if we want, we can come in and clip some of the tops off and have some of those in a salad. Or we could wait a few more weeks till they're more developed and come out and harvest a really good crop of greens. Well, don't forget, it's still not too late to plant some radishes and mustard greens in your garden.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.